Hello, thank you for clicking on my video. If you're new, I'm Kisha, and this is my legacy. And if you're returning, hey guys. So in this video, I want to piggyback on what I posted last Saturday. I went through the judicial process, the legal process of going after someone who sexually abused you by way of the PAR handbook, Pittsburgh Action Against Rape, through their steps. And I did give some information, some insight on my experience. But in this video, I want to touch in on how did it feel? How did I get through this process? Now, granted, my judicial process was pretty swift, okay? I believe I went in September 11th, 2020. We finalized everything. He went off to prison in May 26, 2021. So not even a full year went by before my stepfather went to pay for what he did to me 22 years ago, right? So I just wanted to give anyone who was inquiring or wanted to know what it feels like, because I know that can be scary, going into a process which you don't know what you're about to go through. And also you may run into some bumps in the road like I did. So I want to go into that with you and just let you know my experience dealing with people who don't want you to come out and talk about what has been done to you, okay? And the attempts that were made to silence me as I was proceeding on to go after my stepfather for the sexual abuse that I endured from 5 to 12 years old, 22 plus years later.
Took a brave girl to try.
All right, so let's get into it. If you hear my fan, mind your business, okay? I'm hot, okay? I have a sweater on. Okay. No AirPods today. I did buy a microphone. However, I don't have a piece to connect to my iPhone for it to work. So we're gonna have to deal with this what we're doing here, okay? All right, so when I initially went and I located Pittsburgh Action Against Rape, and when I learned that I could go after my stepfather for sexually abusing me from 5 to 12 years of age, and now I'm like 35. What was I, 34? I don't know. 20 plus years later, right? I didn't tell anybody, okay? I told my partner at the time, and my kids knew, of course, but anyone outside of my home, they did not know what I was about to do. For one, I didn't know if it would really turn into anything, right? So I really was in like ninja stealth mode at this point. Like I'm moving in real silence, okay? So once I meet with the detectives, like I said in the previous video, if you haven't watched it, please check it out. It's a lot of information there that could really help somebody. So once I met with the detectives, everything, like I said, was between me, them, and people in my house. Internally, I struggled with a lot of emotions during this time frame. One that stuck out to me the most, which I definitely worked through, okay, I got over it. I got over it, was the fact that I felt guilty. I felt bad. I was feeling bad for my stepfather. Why would you feel bad for someone who hurt you, Kisha? Let me answer that. Growing up, my mother turned their emotions into our problems. So if she was upset or if he was upset, it was on us to change it if we did something or if they didn't like something that we did. So in turn, we would be always trying to fix their problem. Our feelings didn't matter if they were upset. It really didn't matter at all, honestly. But so that was ingrained in me, and that's something I had to work through in therapy, which I did. So I had to get over those feelings because that is something that can occur. Like, come on, like if I was really trying to like ruin somebody's life on some vengeance type stuff, then yeah, I could see me not really giving two F's about how his feelings are or how I'm affecting his life. But the fact of the matter is, my life has been disrupted the day that he chose to touch me inappropriately. And then to move on and continue to do things to me and do things to me and do things to me until I can't undo the things that he's done. So I'm going to constantly live with this man's decisions, okay? And that's where I had to come to in this whole entire journey, okay? So that the appropriate, I wouldn't say blame, but accountability was placed on the right party. I'm no longer going to internalize what you've done to me as if it's my fault, because it's not my fault. It's your fault. And you must pay for what you've done to me. Simple. So once I got through those feelings, I had to go through also, and I'm not listing any of these in no particular order. I'm just telling you as they're coming out to me. I'm not really organized when it comes to like this story because it's really just off of here. It's coming out of here, okay? Another thing that I had to deal with was the grieving of that life I had, okay? As phony as it was, as fake as it was, as, you know, just full of lies and deceit and just hurt. I had to mourn that life because from my understanding to myself, from the 12-year-old girl who had made that promise, you know, that pact within herself for her baby brother, I wasn't supposed to be talking about this at all. I was supposed to take this to my grave until that grave got a little bit closer than I would have wanted, okay? But I had to mourn. I had to let that life go. And I had to get comfortable with understanding that, because I'm not telling anybody, mind you, no one knows what's going on. I'm going to have to move forward in life with no one. And when I say no one, I don't mean like my children. Of course they're there. My partner, but I had to be okay standing on my own 2 feet. Okay, being willing to do whatever I needed to do to make sure I was straight and to make sure my kids was good. And I did that. And I found the strength and I got out about those feelings, okay? Now there would be times after everything where I would still feel alone and I would still be upset when, you know, when you don't have something that you see a lot of people having. You might not know the story behind it, but just a perception of it, you feel some way. And I'm never going to deny that. I'm never going to deny the fact that I wish I had a mother who was an actual mother, okay? I'm not going to lie and say I wish I had an actual father who I could call on, lean on, be there for me, fix a leaky pipe, change my tires, something, you know? I don't have any of that. It's really just me. I rely on me for any and everything I need, okay? So that's just my reality, and I had to come to terms with that. So when it comes to me dealing with these emotions, okay, because I also had to mourn my mother. That was a part of that too. She was a part of that because I had already learned in my therapy years before that she was never a mother. She was never capable of caring for me and my siblings the way a mother would and should, okay? But to come in terms with that hope of her someday waking up and being like, this isn't it, you know what I mean? Like, choose us, please, you know? It was never gonna come. And when I tell you everything I dealt with in the process of going after my stepfather, you're gonna understand a little bit more why I say this. So let's get more into what things were happening behind the scenes that people don't know about. Then I'm about to just blow the roof off of it, okay? To bring you guys along with everything that was going on behind the scenes of me filing this investigation. Like I said, it was just me. There really wasn't anyone for me to talk to at the time. While we're doing the investigation, And it gets out. It gets out that I'm pursuing criminal charges against my stepfather. It gets out because the detectives interrogate my mother. They interrogate my mother for what I went to them about in regards to being sexually abused by her, you know, boyfriend or common law husband, whatever you want to call it, for 7 years. Okay? She provided information during that interrogation that I will never forget and has always blown my goddamn mind. Is that she corroborated everything that I told the detectives in my statement and some. Okay? The part that like really messed with me, which would cause me to have even deeper feelings of feeling betrayed and just being just really messed up inside, was the fact that she confessed to the detectives that not only did I tell her, which is something I had already knew, like I'm like, I told her at 10, like she knew. She told them I told her at 5. So not only did you allow me to be sexually abused by your boyfriend, you really just let it go off for 7 whole years. That bothered me. I mean, as anyone, you know, I can imagine anyone would be bothered by that. So that was going on. I had to battle those feelings because there was a lot being brought to my attention. I was learning so many things that I thought I knew, but I had no idea what really was going on. Okay. So they meet with her. She provides the detectives the information they need to get the arrest warrant on my stepfather. So they arrest him. He gets incarcerated. He is sent to jail. I mentioned this on TikTok and Instagram, but while he was being questioned by the detectives about, again, my claims of abuse from 5 to 12 years old, his only rebuttal was,
"Why now? Why now?"
My thing with that question is, why do it at all? At the time, let's talk about the action. And I feel as if, because I've been asked that question plenty of times in this process of why are you doing it now? When the real question needs to be, why would he be touching on a child? Why did he feel okay to keep touching on this little girl? And why did her mother allow it? Those are the true questions you need to be asking people. But I digress. So he gets incarcerated. Now, not only did my mother get him in there, she got him out. Yes. She got him out, okay? So she goes and she tells his family and her family why he's in jail. Sorta. Kinda. No, not really. She didn't really tell him. Of course she didn't. She minimized my experience. She made me out to be a liar. She made me out to be someone who was just out to get him, making lies up, like anything to paint me in a bad light so that she could get what she wants at the end of the day, and that is her man, who she's always wanted. Okay? And sad to say, they believed her. More so his family, his sister, his brother, you know, Aunt Charlene, Uncle Lamont. Yeah, they believed her and they helped. They helped get him out. Oh, my baby brother, his junior, helped get my stepfather out of jail. So he spent about 2 weeks incarcerated at our county jail, and he was let out on bail. Now, I got a story time about what happened when I found all this out that I'm definitely going to go into. This ain't the video, but just know I was ready for whatever when he got out. All right. So that happened. She, defamed my name. And at this point, I'm just getting hit with all these blows. Like, you're a liar. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's making it up. Don't believe her. Instead of really standing up and being like, first of all, that you told them. You got him in there. Like, that's why. And then, like, trying to wrap my head around what kind of person does this. She's dangerous. My mother, dangerous. So when anybody asks me, like, would you ever have a relationship with her? And no. What? You understand what she's done? Like, she's dangerous. So all this is going on. I have nobody again to talk about this with. I am in therapy through PAR because they did offer therapy services for free. And I'm speaking to my therapist about it. And that's really the only type of relief I have in this situation. Until I went public. I got on my Facebook, and maybe I'll put my first post up there. Maybe I'll put it over here. Maybe. Take a look, I put my first post out whenever we went to our preliminary hearing. I spoke out, and I blew the roof off of the building. Like, nobody knew what was going on. Everybody started to hit me up, ask me questions like, what's going on? Are you okay? Because no one knew, except the people that were like a little bit outside of my family bubble. And that was it. But then I also learned in those conversations that certain people knew. Listen, when you start to talk about something that has happened to you, please be prepared to learn things about your abuse that you had no idea about. I know I said it before in this video, but it just keeps occurring as I'm telling this story. Like, please do not be surprised, because there's things you're going to find out. There's going to be people that you may find out knew about what was going on with you, and their actions may not align with what you felt should have been done to make sure you were safe. Sidebar over. But I took it to social media. I had to, because she's sitting here and she's lying, and I had to put a stop to it. I had to shut it down. So as I did that, I began to be like rushed with support. I did receive support from a lot of people, from my past, my present. It was just pouring in from everywhere. So then I began to go live, and I started to talk about it even more. And I began to feel free, because this entire time I was sitting there holding all this in. Like, it felt amazing to be able to just finally tell my story and not feel ashamed about it. Not feel like I'm protecting these people anymore, because it is hard to protect somebody that hurt you. It is so hard, you know? But to move on, that's how I came up with Kisha's Legacy. Because there was a lot of people that outreached to me that I did know personally who had experienced similar trauma and felt safe in talking to me, and that helped them heal. So that's how we got here, you know. But as I'm in the process of getting support from people from my past, I'm learning that my stepfather had run-ins with other young ladies throughout my childhood into my adulthood, that he was propositioning and using his, force of power in a different ways that he may have had it throughout our years of growing up. I did advise these individuals to go to the police and to file a complaint. I don't believe they actually seen it through, but I told them that's okay if you're not ready for that, and if that's not where you want to take things, because I got us, okay? I got it. Like, I'm seeing this through. He ain't about to be free on me, you know? But all that to say, my mother again, okay? She starts to message people and telling them I'm gonna look crazy. she doesn't appreciate them supporting me. Again, how dangerous is a person to tell the truth in one hand, make up a lie to get what you need in another, and then continue to try to silence your child for the abuse you know she endured. And the fact that she's finally speaking out, you can't take it. Because it's blowing the top off the life that you thought you was going to be living in fakeness. Right? So I'm being notified of this. So again, I'm having to deal with all these daggers in my back from my own mother. Okay? And I still seen it through. Yes, I had moments where I questioned, like, what am I doing? Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Because I'm hurting. I'm hurting bad. Okay? But it was. It all was worth it. Because in my times of despair and in my times of being hurt, I found a new level of strength. Okay? Each moment was a teaching moment for me. So I learned in that process that there's power in the tongue. Okay? Helping someone else was just a bonus. But freeing myself is where it all stemmed from. And I could honestly say I regret nothing. I regret nothing that I've done. Nothing. I regret nothing at all. Not a nan. All right? I will never take back my learning experience, this healing journey that I'm on away from me, because it is shaping me into this person, into this woman that I would only dream about as a child. But I am becoming, you know? Imani Van Zip. In case y'all don't know about that. But I'm telling you guys this whirlwind of a story of all these things that happened to me in the process of me getting my justice, is that don't give up. If you feel as if that's the route you want to take it. See it through, nurture yourself, have grace with yourself, and just understand at the end of this, you're going to be better. You're going to be stronger. And you're going to feel so much, like, you're just going to feel good. You're going to feel good. I promise. As long as your motives are clear. Because the beginning of this process, oh yeah, don't get me wrong, I was on some vendetta stuff, okay? Because I had to go through something that made me feel as if, like, who the hell are these people to make me want to take my own life? No, they gotta go. It's gonna be me over them any day. So yes, it was on some anger. It was some anger, okay? But as I went through the process of therapy, understanding the bullshit that was going on behind my back, I had to come to terms, you know, with putting myself first and holding myself at that place and no longer fading back, so that these people could feel better about the shitty things that they are doing to me, right? So I encourage you, even if you do not take the judicial route of getting justice, I also want you to know that karma works, okay? You may not see it, but people live with the choices that they make. And it's gonna come one way or another. So I just don't want people to feel as if their story isn't valid or they're not healing enough because they didn't go this route. You'll be fine if you don't. As long as you focus on yourself. I would always recommend no contact with someone who's harmed you and being around toxic people who condone the behavior. I will always recommend that. And if I can do it with just me and my kids and my partner, then you can do it too. You can. And finding you a support system by aligning with a sexual abuse advocacy program, it's always hard to get it all out. a sexual abuse victim organization program that helps you through this process, I will highly recommend it. I'm always going to recommend it. And I'm going to put it at the end of this video too, so that you can contact if you feel to receive the services that they offer, guys, because it's free. It's free. And they're there to get you through, okay? Y'all, that was a lot. I felt like that was a lot, y'all. If you enjoyed my video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you have not, I suggest you follow me on Instagram. We'll put it here. Instagram and TikTok. At Kisha's Legacy. What else would it be? You know? I enjoyed making this video, even though I may feel like it's all over the place, but that's what editing's for. All right? Until my next video. Wow, I felt like I was back at cheerleading. Like I was getting into it. I was getting into it. Until my next video, guys. Bye.